propagandistic celebrations of technology and progress. And I got hooked on them in high school and have been studying them ever since. So when I tell people I study World's Fairs, they say, great, I've heard all about them, they sound awesome, when can I go? And I say, actually, sorry, you can't. The last one in the United States was held in 1984. Now you could travel to China, there was one in Shanghai in 2010, travel to Japan, but I wanted to understand why these were once so popular in the United States and no longer are. So this talk will be about where all the World's Fairs went. So World's Fairs are about the future, but they're also about a corporate future, and that was very much enforced at the 1939 exposition. I had never been to an exposition because I was not born yet when the last one was held in the U.S. I went on Wikipedia and actually charted where all the World's Fairs were, all the official big universal expositions were over time. And that bold line you see is the heartbeat of when they happened in the United States. And you can see that they clump. First signal that something interesting is going on. And you can also see that there are a couple of very late entrants to the game, like China, Germany, Portugal, where all of a sudden World's Fairs became interesting to them, where they weren't once. So I also decided to chart attendance at these fairs. And it's imperfect data, Wikipedia, but in general you can see that the U.S. Sort of peaks in the 30s and then peaks again in the 60s, but there was cheating because it lasted for 2 years, not 6 months. So China's way up there, over 70 million in attendance in 2010. But I didn't hear that much about it. It was hard to even find pictures of it online. So again, the most recent World's Fair in the United States, in 1984, had lower attendance than the very first one in Philadelphia in the 1800s, which just seems crazy. So where did all the World's Fairs go? Where? Well, first of all, they went to Disney World. And this in a very real sense. So Walt Disney was a major underwriter of the 1964-1965 exposition in New York. And it was a test bed for Epcot. It was the first place It's a Small World After All was introduced. And he was really interested in building utopian communities. And the utopian aspect of World's Fairs was appealing to Disney and found its ultimate manifestation in Epcot, where people can visit year-round and come from all over the world to see. And in total, the attendance is way more consistent than the every couple of years spike of a World's Fair. So this is a consistent vision of technology and progress. Very corporate, of course. The second place World's Fairs went is away. They went just to other places. So China had a huge one in 2010. South Korea held one in 1993, Japan in 2005. And I think that it's worth wondering why all of a sudden these countries that never had World's Fairs before became interested in things like the Olympics and World's Fairs. Of course, it's not the country that, countries don't decide things, people do. But someone in that country decided it would be a good idea to invite people to see how cool the future is going to be with China. And that's an interesting message to send. So the third place World's Fairs went is they went away because we just don't need them anymore. At the end of this one exhibit in the 1939 exposition, you would receive a pin that said, "I've seen the future." The exhibit was Futurama. You could see all the glass bubbles and fantastic highways and self-driving cars of the future. But now we see the future much more quickly every day on the internet. And I think that the United States is still a beacon of technology and progress, but in a much more decentralized, less corporate way, which I actually think is better. I think that being here at Food Camp together shows that there's still value in coming together and experiencing things in person. And over the course of this research, I actually found that some group in the Bay Area has put in a bid to hold an exposition in San Francisco in 2020. The main message I want to leave you with is that expositions expose intentions, and it's really useful to wonder where and why they happen. The main lesson I've taken away from studying World's Fairs is that technology is always the future. And once I learned that, I decided to get into technology, which is why I'm here today.